All right, everybody. Hello. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? I don't know how many people we're gonna have on here this morning. We had some issues with our email client. Do not trust constant contact. I did, and now it's just me and Noel, which is fine by me. I love Noel. Good morning, Noel. Good morning. Good morning. Give you a shout out there. Fun. Okay. Noel, you and I are just going to get into it. Hopefully, some people join us. Hopefully, Constant Contact figures itself out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Morning, Leanne. Morning, Diane. And we do have some folks joining. Nice. I am just going to go back to square one here. Good morning, Lisa. All right, we got some friends. Uh, let's get going here. I'm alone today. I just sent Tyler, who hopefully you guys met last week. He's the new sales marketing rep here working with me. Just sent him out to a job to deliver some equipment to the guys. Get to know the field, that whole vibe. Hopefully we'll have him back next week to weigh in on everything. But if this is your first time joining us, this is something we call Breakfast with Disaster. My name is Dan Bauer. I am the Sales and Marketing Manager here at ServPro of the Southtowns, ServPro of West Seneca Lancaster. Morning, Mike. Good to see you again. And yeah, good to see you. We got some people coming in. I'm happy about that. Breakfast with Disaster. Breakfast with Disaster. I will talk better now. We do this every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Same time, same place. Make it easy for you to remember. And the whole point of the show, the whole idea, because we care, is we're going to show you all the worst things that can happen so that you know how to avoid them, how to stop them from happening to you, people you care about. And I think we should get right into it. The only thing I'll say is my ServPro Mug Clubbers, I think you guys are commenting. ServPro Mug Club is a fun thing we do. I'll explain it real quick. Imagine this is a coffee mug. I don't have one with me. We gave them all away. You would get a mug, number on the bottom. You register that number with me. Every week on the show, at the very end, big finale, we draw a prize. Usually a gift card. I've given away everything from concert tickets to a little Halloween decoration named Terrible Tim that screams at you when you walk by. We like to keep it fun, fresh, exciting here. So if you join the Mug Club, you're eligible for that prize drawing at the end. And if you're watching the show and I draw your number, you get a double prize as a reward for hanging out with us. So if you're watching now and you are part of the Mug Club and you haven't commented yet, shoot a comment in there because otherwise I won't know that you're here. And if you're not part of the Mug Club and you are watching, I don't know what you're waiting for. You win prizes. There's no catch. It's pretty easy and you're already here. So if you're not part of the Mug Club, comment now. Shoot me an email, call, send a smoke signal, whatever. We will get you signed up. Morning, Andrea. And I know Amy Nowak, if you're watching, I owe you a mug for sure. I'll be over ASAP to get you yours. That's our intro, folks. I have a new segment for you. Just to make sure, some weeks we get crazy. Some weeks we talk about, last week we talked about Tyler coming in. Some weeks we talk about rescuing dogs. And then I thought, I really should make sure we have some disasters in here every week. Otherwise, I'm lying to people. So I'm introducing a new segment today. It's called the Weekly Warning. And the idea here is pretty simple. I'm going to warn you about something that could go wrong so that you don't do it. That's it. You can see my little red flags here. That's the idea. In this Weekly Warning, very stern with you. Do not, under any circumstances, just let your fire extinguishers off for the heck of it, for fun. I know you've seen movies. I've seen movies where people do it and it's a blast. They sit in a little rolly chair and they blast themselves across a warehouse or something. Morning, Kathy. Morning, other Kathy. Morning, Justin. There's no such thing as another Kathy. I got two great Kathys. Number one Kathys. They're both number one Kathys. Morning, Maria. Good to see everybody joining. My warning this week is do not let your fire extinguishers off just for fun. I'll show you some people who did it for fun and you can see what happened. This is a public building. Your taxpayer dollars at work maintaining this place. And I'm not going to tell you exactly where. I don't like to tell tales out of school or anything, but this was locked up for the summer. Nobody in there. Nobody really checking up on it. A couple of kids decided they were going to do a public service. And what public service would that be? Our nation's youth decided they were going to test the fire extinguishers for us. And so they busted into this building, grabbed every fire extinguisher they could, and just went buck wild. Now, I'll show you a couple more pictures here. Fire extinguishers, there are a couple of different types. Hopefully you've never had to use one. Most of them let out this gross dry white powder here. It's called monoammonium phosphate. And it works very well for putting out fires, partially because it gets everywhere. When you spray and you pray and you just that dust goes everywhere, and it's going to settle on any available surface. And you can see it's pretty nasty stuff. I'll show you another picture here. These kids, bored, whatever, I don't know what their point was, went in and just sprayed these fire extinguishers on every available surface, every wall, every piece of furniture, every floor, the bathrooms, the toilets, whatever they could get at. And it was a really nasty thing to scope out. In fact, this is not the sort of thing you go in with your Hoover or your Shark. We're a Shark family at my house. I don't know if anybody wants to comment on their vacuum allegiances. We're a Shark family. Can't go in here with your Shark and suck all this up and call it a day. This is not a job for a janitorial service, a normal cleaner. It's certainly not a job you can handle in-house. In fact, we had to scope this one out in two parts. Part one is sending an entire crew in full PPE, Tyvek, respirator, the whole deal, because you don't want to be breathing this stuff in all day. Give them HEPA vacuums, which is a fancy term for a vacuum that really sucks stuff up good, and vacuum every single nook and cranny of this building, just to get as much of this dust up as possible. Then, after they did that, and we inspected that, made sure that was done, they'd have to go in and wet clean every single nook and cranny of this building again, just to make sure that this dust was out. This is, again, not an easy thing. We scoped it out in two parts. I think it took 14 to 20 days, all told, to do this. Now, I don't know that we actually ended up doing this job. They may have gone in a different direction. That's what it would have taken to do. So, my weekly warning for you, very simple. Don't be like these kids. It's not a public service. You're not helping anyone. Don't test the fire extinguishers unless you need to. And if you need to, there are people that do it professionally that don't ruin your house. So, weekly warning. Watch out for that monoammonium phosphate. But, let's get to the main event here. It looks like I cut myself off a bit here. I'm not going to do any image cropping live. You guys are going to see how poor I really am at it. But the main event today, not fire extinguishers actually, it's ethics. I know everybody's favorite topic, very exciting stuff to talk about. As in, acting ethically, having a moral code, doing the right thing, however you want to come at this, ethics is really on my mind this week. And for what I think is a pretty good reason. Us here at ServPro of the Southtowns, we here, please in the comments correct my grammar if you know the right answer, us or we, my fan here at ServPro of the Southtowns, ServPro of West Seneca, Lancaster, a couple months back, maybe 6 months or so, we got a really interesting email from the BNBEA, the Buffalo Niagara Business Ethics Association, letting us know that our bro, can I call him my bro? Adam Brasky, over at Rupp Boss Salsgraf Cunningham. I really thought I was going to screw that up. He's our attorney. Had nominated us for this award, which was awesome and very kind of him. And I went and I talked to him. I thanked him. I kind of asked him why he did, and he said, I just work with you guys relatively often, and I see how well you treat people. I figured, why not? So shout out to Adam, best lawyer in Buffalo, for nominating us. And we decided, yeah, let's go for it. And we ended up writing this big, I'm talking big, 55, 60-page application for this award, which was a really interesting time, actually, to kind of reflect on the business that we run, what our values are, what we do, and you really have to come up with evidence. Because anybody can sit down and say that they care about ethics, they care about treating people well, but to actually have to sit down, categorize how you do it, and then prove it was a really, really rewarding exercise. And we submitted that application and found out pretty recently that we are finalists. We are one of 3 companies in the finals in our category for this award. This Thursday is, and usually they have a luncheon because of COVID, there's no event. I do not get my chicken piccata, which I'm kind of steamed about, but whatever. They're going to stream the ceremony live on WBEN around 8:45 a.m. this Thursday. It's also going to be on WGRZ in some capacity, and they're doing a Zoom event too. So I will be there. Lynn and Tom will be there. Our smiling faces as we go to see if perhaps we won this award, which would be pretty cool. We're up against some really cool companies, so I'm just, I know this is a cheesy thing to say, honored to be included. And the reason I want to talk about this is I'm not going to blah, blah, blah about why we're ethical, but I did think there was part of the application that should be shared. The first initial part of it is a letter from our CEO. And I'm going to start the waterworks here. Lynn penned a letter to sort of be the executive summary of this whole thing. And I thought it was cool. And I thought it was good. And I thought it was telling. So I wanted to read a part of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But here's what she said. Kind of asked, why are we applying for this, was her prompt. And here's what she said. When I started this business with my husband, Tom, 26 years ago, we lived in a tiny little one-bedroom apartment with 2 children under the age of 5. And so when customers called ServPro, what they were really calling was a landline that we didn't sell it in our closet. They didn't know that I was the owner who was taking their call. They didn't know I was taking that call and jumping into a truck and rushing to that job. They definitely didn't know that when they called after hours, I had to keep my voice down because I had my son and my daughter sleeping in a shared twin bed 10 feet away from me, and I was trying not to wake them up. Nobody knew that. I didn't want them to know that. But we started ServPro the Southtowns because we wanted our kids to have, their own beds in their own rooms in a house that we owned. We wanted a better future for them. And eventually we achieved those things. And I can tell you straight up, after 26 years, we could have achieved them faster. And I'll tell you how. After there's a disaster, and emotions were running really high, things happen very quickly. 99% of the people that we work with, they've never suffered this kind of emergency before. And it would be very easy, and some companies do, take advantage of that kind of panic. And you can, no lie, make a lot of money pretty quickly by exploiting people like that. So the question that I have to ask myself when filling out this application, thinking back, if I was that driven to help my family, why didn't I play the game like that? And I think that's, to a degree, a fair question. On some level, it just never occurred to me. I worked before ServPro 20 years in the service industry, and I brought that mentality with me. I was there to serve and not sell or rip people off. But if I'm being honest, it came back to my family, and this is Dan talking, not Lynn. You can see the family up here to my right. That's Travis, Nikki, and Taylor hanging out. If I'm being honest, it came back to my family. How could I justify taking care of my family by exploiting another? What's the value in giving your kids a better life if you do it by showing them, by example, that it's okay to lie, cheat, or steal? In the early days of this company, I saw that my kids, even without the advantages that I wished I could have given them at the time, they were growing into kind and respectful, thoughtful young adults, and no amount of money in the world would be worth it to me to undermine that. So, you asked me why ethics are important to us, and if you want the short answer, there it is. No paycheck is worth running a business that makes every person worse for interacting with it, especially when those people are your family. So that's the letter from Lynn that sort of headed off the application, and I thought that was really cool. This sort of thing, business ethics, ethics in general, it's not an abstract concept. It shouldn't be to anyone. It's something that has a real material effect on you, on the people around you, and it's absolutely worth thinking about, absolutely worth protecting. So I would love it if anybody's hanging out on Thursday morning at 8:45, they want to tune into WBEN and see how things go. We'd love the support. Otherwise, I'm sure we will post something, say something after the awards, no matter if we win or lose or whatever happens. It's just an honor to be included. So that's ethics for today. But let's get to the main event here, what you guys are really here for, and that's our prize drawing. And again, if you're just joining us, I'll tell you about this prize drawing. You've got to be part of the ServPro Mug Club to be in this. And if you're not part of the ServPro Mug Club, I don't know what you're waiting on. Free to join. You win a prize. It doesn't get much better than that. And if you comment and you're in the Mug Club, you will win a double prize. So if you're in the Mug Club, you're watching this, you haven't commented yet, just say anything. Say gabagool, and I will make sure you get your double prize. I'm going to do the drawing right now. We're spinning. We're spinning. We're spinning. Click, clack, click, clack. where we got to end up. 240. That, my friends, is Jason Crater over at National Fuel. Jason, if you're watching, make sure you pop a comment in there so that I know that you won a double prize. And if you're not watching, well, that's a shame, Jason. You really missed out. I'll shoot you an email either way. That's our show. If you're not in the Mug Club, comment, email me, let me know. I will get you in. You could be eligible for one of these wonderful prizes. For all my folks who joined, watched, hung out with us, really nice to see you. Thank you all for hopping in. I used to have a speech impediment when I was a kid, and it just came out right there. So I thank you guys all for letting me go with that. Thank you for joining, especially since the email didn't quite work out. It was really nice to see you all. We will see you all next week, as we always do, Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Breakfast with Disaster, where we show you all the horrible things that can happen so they don't happen to you. My name's Dan Dower with ServPro the Southtowns. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys soon.